What up, world? Established Rich coming right back at you. Today, I gotta talk about a man who meant the world to my hometown, Anderson, South Carolina. I'm talking about the late, great Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther himself, the king, the legend. And now he's finally getting a full-length documentary that tells his story the way it deserves to be told. Words plus pictures. The same company that gave us the Christopher Reeve story is bringing Chadwick's story to life. And let me tell you something. This is personal for me because Chadwick ain't just Hollywood. He ain't just Wakanda. He's Anderson, South Carolina, my hometown. And he went to the same high school my own mother went to. So when I talk about this man, I'm not just talking about an actor on the screen. I'm talking about somebody who represents us, our city, our people, on the biggest stage imaginable. Now, everybody knows him as T'Challa from Black Panther. But for me, it wasn't until Get Up that I finally understood the magnitude of his talent. I remember watching the clips thinking, this must be some kind of joke. James Brown, the godfather of soul, who could pull that off? And then I watched it, and man, he didn't just play James Brown, he became James Brown. The moves, the voice, the energy, the fire. From that point on, I was a fan for life. This documentary is going to show his rise from theater stages to motion pictures like 42, to Marshall playing Thurgood Marshall, to Black Panther, a role that changed cinema forever. But here's the part that really hits me in the chest. The man did all of this while fighting colon cancer. He was diagnosed in 2016 at just 39 years old, and he kept it private. He kept it to himself. Surgeries, chemo, all while making blockbuster films, all while giving us everything he had left, and nobody knew. Not the audience, not even most of the people on set. Viola Davis told a story about his last film. She said she saw people rubbing his back and she thought he was being pampered. But he wasn't being pampered. He was in the final stages of his life, and he still showed up. He still performed. He still carried the weight of greatness on his shoulders. Let that sink in. The man was dying, and yet he was still giving us art, still giving us inspiration. He got married to his longtime love, Taylor Simone Ledward, shortly before he passed. She stood by his side until his final breath. He passed August 28th, 2020 at just 43 years old. But his legacy is timeless. And this documentary with his family involved is going to give us a window into who he really was. Not just the actor, not just the star, but the man. The man who never let bitterness show. The man who kept his pain to himself so the world could see his strength. I believe this documentary will show us that, and it will remind the world that he was on his way to Oscars, maybe multiple Oscars. Everybody knows that he was that great of a talent. He would have been in the conversation with Denzel, Sidney, with all the greats. But more important than the awards, he was respected. Respected for his craft, respected for his dignity, respected for his silence and suffering. And for me, it's pride, pure pride, because he showed that somebody from Anderson, South Carolina could be royalty. He was Wakanda. He was a king. But he was also just a young man from our city who never stopped dreaming. So when the documentary drops, I'm going to be watching it from front to back. And I'm going to remember what he stood for. Strength, humility, talent, sacrifice. A private battle fought with public grace. And even though he's gone, he's still our hero forever. So rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Forever the Black Panther. Forever Anderson. Forever greatness. Like, comment, subscribe. Established Rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.